So there's a new dog at the dog park with Global Fight League (GFL), the team-based mixed martial arts league, not promotion. Darren Owens, the CEO of GFL, was very clear to say that on Ariel Helwani. I totally respect it. I'm totally digging it. I'm excited about this. I've talked about a team-based promotion to come back for a long time. I like the IFL a lot. I thought it was very interesting. And I do think that this is the next step in a mainstream sport relation. So, what do I mean by that? First of all, um, it's very difficult to be different and to be recognized in mixed martial arts today with a new promotion. Uh, you got your UFC, the 800-pound gorilla, as they say in marketing, when it comes to the industry, and then you have their very far distant second place, which is PFL slash Bellator, more PFL and then Bellator. PFL in its own right had to be different. They have their own individual league based format with playoffs and everything where they have a world champion every year. And honestly, this was just the next thing, a team-based promotion or league. Sorry, GFL. Sorry, Darren Owen. Which, by the way, I'm referring to the interview with Ariel Helwani a lot on here. I'm trying to get Darren Owen on Fight Court myself, or with myself and Dean. I spoke with him a little bit. He was open about it, trying to connect with his PR team to schedule it appropriately. But in the meantime, let's talk about it. So anyway, yeah. So to be different, it's very difficult to be different, be recognized as to not be the UFC. Because let's face it, people have tried, other promotions have tried to do the traditional way, which is the safest way, and they fall flat on their face because it's old names. We'll get back to that in a minute. It's older names that are they don't really want to see headlining main events anymore in the big show, and it just comes off as a cheap riff off of the Ultimate Fighting Championship. So even though there is some very old names within this roster right now or underneath this banner, it is still a little different. Those old names might not even fight. First of all, you're seeing all over social media saying sign, sign, sign. Now, that doesn't not necessarily mean that those athletes, those fighters are signed like Mark Coleman, Ken Shamrock, Vanderlei Silva. However, that does mean that they are draft eligible. So if they're not drafted, according to what Darren Owens said on Ariel Helwani, they will be free agents. They're free to fight now. Actually, everybody that's draft eligible, they can go get fights now. One bigger fight I'd like to see is a Mark Coleman, Ken Shamrock. I'm still down for that fight. I highly doubt they are, though. Anyway, back to the drawing board. So this is different. It's league based, but I do have some questions as to how it's going to be different. There was some stuff that was not discussed on Ariel Helwani's show that I want to know about that I'm very interested. As I've said many times, I'm a big uh, stick and ball sports buff. I love the sports management side of things, and this is right up my alley. So they have their draft. You have two fighters at each weight class, and I wonder if there's going to be mixing and matching like a wrestling dual meet where you flip a coin, they go, or even before that. Um, is there how much activity is there a season like is it dual meet format, which it doesn't look like from the scoring per fight that there is it dual meet format where your entire team fights x amount of times in a year? How many times? That's the other one. Are you obligated to compete so many times to make the playoffs, or like to be eligible for the playoffs, or is it just they schedule the fighters singly around the country and then you score points as you fight for your team? That might allow some fighters to be a little more active than others, especially when you see these older names on the card like a Frank Mir, Mark Coleman, Ken Shamrock, Vanderlei Silva. You can't. I doubt those guys are going to fight 4 times a year. I'm really wondering if they're going to fight at all. To be honest with you. So is it a dual meet format where you score the win for the team, or on top of racking up the points? Does the points go towards a power ranking for the season, or does the points go towards the dual meet format within each weight class, similar to our amateur wrestling bout in collegiate and high school and international for that matter? That's one question. The next question that I have is there a salary cap? Like they said, fighters are going to be paid proportionally to their drawing power, or they believe, or whatever is discussed with their managers. And is there a salary cap per team? I don't think so, because it's not all owned right now. They're all under one owner. It doesn't really sound like it. But does the salary cap go how many times a team could pay out to fighters per season? Is there a salary cap at all? Because in theory, you could sign every most expensive fighter, right? You could draft them all. Will you do that? Probably not. But, is there a salary cap involved? Because that would be cool. That might also grow into trading and, who's going where. Um, but although it doesn't sound like that now, anyway, I'm really interested in that. Secondly, so you have your teams, or third, sorry, you have your teams, and are they is this going to be your team for a certain amount of time, or is it like fantasy football and baseball where you just redraft every year? You redraft the teams every year to build your team, or are you going to grow a dynasty, so to speak, like the 90s Yankees, early 2000 Patriots? Are you trying to grow into that, or do you just have a brand new team every year? A lot of interesting stuff there. Now, I'm really pumped about it. I think that, especially, one thing that caught me was, I think that this is going to be sustainable, this organization, for quite a while. It's not just going to be a few shows. First of all, Mr. Owen talked about how they have a investor and not a sponsor. When they have a sponsor, that's good for one show. When you have an investor, you're looking at least a year or two of fight. So that's fantastic. He talked about how, mathematically speaking, financially speaking, it didn't line up in 2021. So he went back to the drawing board and only did this so he could do it right, which is right now going into 2025. So you know that this thing is for real. Um, Love what's going on. Obviously, can't wait to ask Mr. Owen more. Can't wait to talk about it more. I already know I'm talking with Dean. I think I'm going to do a live feed. We're going to do a fight companion for the draft, so, like our own war room. Totally pumped about it. I want to do some mock drafts along the way. And yeah, really looking forward to it. Let me know what questions you have for Mr. Owen for GFL. Put them in the chat there. I'll ask them. We'll get them answered. Let's see it. Let's go forward, guys. GFL. Bye.